Welcome friends to another r/IDontWorkHereLady video. Today we've got a story of a crazy lady screaming at a doctor. But first, a story from Platisol. I don't work here, but I totally could. So this doesn't have any toxic Karens or anything like that, but was honestly an understandable mistake made by, well, almost everyone except for my family I was with at the time. I've been debating for the last few weeks whether to post this, but I found it kind of funny. So I work at a major warehouse store that likes to give out samples, and on this particular Saturday, I got out of 3 and was meeting my stepmom and stepsister for lunch nearby afterwards at a pretty good Mexican restaurant. This restaurant had a small indoor dining room and an outdoor patio. I walk into the restaurant looking for my family as they already have a table, and am greeted by a startled and confused looking waitress staring at me. Let's call her W. I say, "Hi, my mom and sister already have a table. I just don't know whether they're in the dining room or patio. Do you mind me glancing around to find them?" Waitress, kind of frozen and confused for a reason unknown to me, said, Sure." I look around the dining room and can't find them, so I turn to the waitress, still there, and tell her I'll go out to the patio to see if that's where their table is. She very softly says okay, and I find my family out on the patio. I sit down and get introduced to our waiter, Alex. He's nice, funny, and we're getting along well. Stepmom makes a joke that I could easily just grab one of the ordering tablets and start working, and we all laugh, including me. I think it's funny because before my current job, I'd worked as a waitress for a few years, and think that before I'd come in, it must have been talked about to Alex. That's why it was funny, right? Right? Well, the meal's going well. Mine was very much a finger food, so my hands are dirty and I need to wash them. I go to the bathroom to do so, and I have to walk through the entire restaurant and dining room because it's at the far back of it, the door being right next to an outside door that leads to the dumpster. On the way there, I'm noticing some confused glances and stares from a group of servers by the kitchen as I pass by, and I meet Alex with a trash bag on his way to the outside door, which is the only reason I even noticed that door there next to the bathroom door in the first place. We joke about meeting on the way there, something like, "Fancy meeting you here, long time no see." He was also walking behind me until I reached the bathroom door, and he goes outside. On my way back to the patio after washing my hands, I'm ignoring those same questioning looks again. I think it's weird, but I also have anxiety, so maybe I'm just overthinking things. Or at least that's what I tell myself. I meet Alex at the table, and the following conversation goes as such. Alex says, "Ha, I beat you here. Don't feel bad though, I just came around the back outside." I say, "Wow, okay, cheater," getting employee rights like that. Stepsister says, "Well, all you have to do is act like you work here and you'd have those rights too." I say, "I think I'd have to be in the proper uniform to even try something like..." And then I look down, and everything makes sense. Dear readers, you know all the typical server uniforms, right? All black? Well, this restaurant's no different, as the servers here wear a black button-up, black pants, black non-slip shoes, and a black waist apron with hair tied up or back if it's long. Having just come from a shift of handing out alcohol samples at work, my uniform is a black button-up, black pants, black non-slip shoes, and my hair in a high ponytail. The confusion of the waitress at the front door, and questioning looks as I was walking through the restaurant, seemingly knowing where I was going as I was headed to the bathroom, it all suddenly clicks for me at that moment. Everyone thought I worked there, including the staff. Me starting to laugh said, I'm so dumb, I was wearing your guys' uniform. No wonder everyone was looking at me so weirdly." Alex, also laughing, said, "Yeah, the others actually stopped me to ask who you were and if I was training you. I told them you were just a customer, and they asked why you were shadowing me when going outside then. I told them I was following behind you because we happen to be going the same way." This is something we all continued laughing about until we left, because I managed to confuse an entire restaurant staff, excluding my waiter, into thinking I was some kind of new hire that nobody was told about. Again, I know this isn't anything particularly exciting, and there was no conflict or entitled person involved demanding I serve them or anything, but it was definitely an "I don't work here" situation that I, my family, and my waiter found very amusing and entertaining. Maybe it put a little smile on someone's face. Who knows? Do you guys think that Alex the waiter could have done something more, maybe mention that OP looked like they worked there with their outfit? Or do you think that's too critical to expect something like that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Our next story is from Surprise Caboose. Oh, I thought you were the supervisor. So last night I was working. I work at a popular store with lots of unique items. I was rolling out about 4 cases of something for a fully empty shelf. As I'm getting into the task, I hear one old man greet another old man who has been wandering around the snack aisle but has nothing in his hands. No basket, etc. My coworker had been dodging man 2 for at least 10 minutes while trying to stock the section. So I hear behind me the following conversation. Old man 1 says, "Oh, hello." Old man 2 says, "Hi." At this, I figure they know each other and that's a normal convo. Old man 1 says, "I can't find the chips I like. It looks like they're out. I can't remember the brand name." Old man 2 doesn't say anything. I turn a bit to see what's happening in this silence. Old man 1's gesturing to the empty shelves we're working on restocking. Old man 2 looks deeply confused. Old man 1 says, "Do you..." And old man 2 is just in confused silence. I've turned away at this point so they won't be able to see that I'm struggling not to burst out laughing. So at this point, I'm ready and expecting to receive the question next, as I am wearing multiple pieces of company-issued and brand-emblazoned clothing. Nope. Old man 1 walks past me, walks past my coworker who is knelt down actively stocking the shelves. She's obviously labeled front and back as a store employee, and heads directly out of the store. I was finally free to burst into laughter. Before anyone asks why I didn't jump in with an offer of help, it's because I'm a good NPC and I only interact if directly addressed. That's what 2 decades of retail work will do to you. Although 2 decades of working retail very obviously is going to naturally teach you, don't involve yourself with the general public if you can help it. Considering this was an older man and he seemed fairly confused, do you think they should have just disregarded their own instincts and just helped that guy out? Should OP feel a little bad for just watching that guy ask confused questions and then stroll right out? I'd like to know your guys' thoughts about it in the comments. And by the way, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. If you do so, you'll never miss any of my daily videos. Each video has great stories, like our next one from Evil Devil 4, Lost in IKEA, I guess I am your guide. Well, it's been a while, Reddit, but I actually found myself with spare time, so here's something recent. I'd been going to my local IKEA to pick up bookcases, bedside tables, and whatever else I needed for my new apartment. It's about half an hour away, so I've been going after work, still dressed up in work clothes. My job's an office situation, and I wear a shirt and tie. So I guess I can't blame the confused-looking old-timer who accosted me in the as-is section. The old-timer said, "Do you work here?" I say, "Nah, I just dress up." We share a laugh and he looks disappointed and lost. I guess years of retail work have me broken in, because I then continued, "I can try to help if you'd like. What's up?" The old man looks thankful as he pleads, "How the heck do you get out of here?" I'm not sure why, but in my absurd mind, I like to imagine that old-timer might have been a young man when he first entered the store, and that he'd been subsisting on meatballs and sleeping on display sofas as he wandered endlessly. He was so close to the exit. Of course I had to help him escape this Swedish purgatory. I say, "Oh yeah, I can help. Follow me." I politely walk him to the exit. He thanked me and was on his way, into a world much different than the one he knew when he first ventured into the store. Sadly, they didn't have the Billy bookcase I wanted, so I got Calyx ones. But at least I did a good deed and used my weird middle management vibes for good and not for evil. If you're out there, old-timer, I wish you well, not as an employee, but just as a helpful human. For a story that took place in IKEA, this was actually a very touching and human story. I feel like hopefully most people wouldn't mind helping out in a situation like that, as long as they themselves knew where the exit was. And our final story of the day is by AnnaMaths93. A crazy mom screams at me for not helping out in the emergency department when I am not a part of the emergency team or work there. Hi, I'm a 28-year-old doctor, and my specialty is in clinical chemistry, chemical pathology/biochemistry, and laboratory medicine. So I usually don't interact with my patients much anymore. This happened during my specialization training and it still makes me shake my head. My colleague and friend in another department suddenly developed seizures in the middle of the night. Her husband contacted me, as I often helped her before they were married, and I was taking a midnight stroll on the campus as I was on call for the lab. I went to the emergency and got all her papers ready. My junior from my alma mater was studying emergency medicine, and she helped expedite things. My friend arrived the same time another family involved in an accident arrived. Since my friend was still seizing, my junior asked if I could place an IV for the time being because they needed to look at the family involved in the accident while the neurologist arrived. No problem. The ED was extremely busy and I was ready to help. I did everything for my friend as one of the nursing officers handed me an anti-epileptic drug, while her husband, also a doctor but in another hospital, stayed by to make sure she's comfortable. That was suddenly the ED went dark and the beeping got annoying. This mother, crazy mother, tapped on my shoulder. They said, "Hi, can you help me?" I say, "Hi, sorry, I'm not an ED doctor, but I can guide you to whom you should see." She says, "Aren't you a doctor?" I say, yes, but I'm not part of the ED. I'm here for my friend." They say, "So, since you helped your friend, can you take a look at my child?" I say, "I'm sorry, but I can't. I can't take responsibility as I'm not part of the emergency team and neither am I posted here. When my friend in the ED gets better, I shall ask her to take a look." She says, "But you helped your friend." I say, "Yes, because the team's busy with an accident and since it's my friend, all I did was set an IV so that she'll be stable till they come and check on her." She says, "So why can't you help me? I'm tired of waiting and my child is uncomfortable." I'm tired now saying, "Lady, I'm not an emergency doctor, nor am I on duty. I can't help you or take responsibility should something happen. Please wait for the emergency doctor to be free. Why don't you go to the registration counter? They'll ensure someone looks at your child." She says, "I can't leave my child alone. Why can't you take a look at him?" I sigh and say, "Where's your child now and what's wrong?" I can't give any advice or do anything because I'm not a part of the posted emergency team, but I can inform them. She says, "I need you to look at him. He fell down and is crying." I say, "Just wait. Once an emergency doctor comes, I'll send them your way." Crazy mother, now grabbing my arm, said, "You will see him right now." Friend's hubby, pulling me away and blocking the crazy mother, said, "You will leave her alone. She's not part of the emergency team. Stop harassing her." The crazy mother yells, "Help, help, they're assaulting me." A nurse charge finally ran in asking what's wrong. I knew nurse charge as we're part of the same Christian prayer group, so she asked my side first. I explained about my friend and how crazy mother was forcing me to help her son when I can't. The nurse said, "Crazy mother, OP's a doctor, but she's not posted nor part of our emergency team. We needed her to help her friend because we're super busy, but that's it, she can't help you." The crazy mother said, "Stop giving excuses, you just don't want to help me. You, me, will now help me with my son or I'll complain." Me, now annoyed, said, "Go ahead." I turned as nurse charge was dealing with crazy mother as the neurologist had arrived and I had to talk with her and friend's hubby. I thought that was it. Wrong. As my friend got better and I was helping another nurse change the IV bag while she gave my friend another dose of anti-epileptic drug, my hand was suddenly pulled, nearly causing me to pull at the IV. Crazy mother had grabbed me. Me, now really angry, said, "What the heck? You again? What are you doing? You nearly made me rip off her IV line." The crazy mother said, "This is the doctor who refused to help me. I want her license canceled." Turns out she had dragged the emergency medical officer, the senior doctor watching over everything, to complain. The emergency medical officer blinked as she knew I didn't work in the ED unless I was posted there, which I was not. They say, "She doesn't work here." The crazy mother says, "Yes, she does. She was fixing that woman's IV." The emergency medical officer replies, "She's a part of the hospital, but she does not work in the ED. Since she's a doctor, she was just helping her friend, but that's it. She cannot look at your child unless I tell her to." She says, "Stop lying. Why are you covering for her? She is the worst." Friend's hubby said, "Emergency medical officer, take this lady away. My wife is not well and she's been harassing OP too much. OP's already going out of her way to be polite." The emergency medical officer agreed and turned to crazy mother. They say, "I saw your child. He's fine. We're swamped today, especially since we had an entire family be admitted here. If you continue to create a ruckus, we will ask you to leave and maybe even ban you." She says, "But I did nothing wrong. It's her fault." The emergency medical officer firmly says, "You have two options. You either leave them alone or you leave." Crazy mother left us along, grumbling, as I heaved a sigh of relief. My friend had recovered, so we decided to have her discharged and have her checked up in the morning. As we were leaving, we saw crazy mother glare at us and mouth swear words at us, but we ignored her. Friend Subby apologized, but I told him not to worry as none of it was his fault. The next morning, the story had spread in the whole hospital, and my guide had told me to be firm and not entertain people who were like crazy mother. It's not very exciting, but it's not the first time I went through this. Since I have friends in the ED, I often go to see them and be treated so badly by patients and their relatives. God, some days I'm glad I'm in laboratory medicine and not in the ED. Reading this story honestly gave me a lot more respect for those that do willingly work in the ED. Not just because sometimes you have to deal with crazy Karens and parents and demanding people that come in, but because imagine all the trauma you also have to deal with. Like that entire family that got into an accident. Imagine that whole family coming in, you gotta drop what you're doing and take care of all of them and their various injuries. That job just seems super stressful. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So of all these stories I've read today, which is your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't yet, if you could like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. Whatever you do, whether it's liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, all of it helps grow this channel and I appreciate the heck out of it. So until next time, I'll see you all tomorrow with some more stories.